everybody, welcome back to my channel. I put up a post earlier today on my Instagram page asking what kind of looks you might be interested in seeing, and I got a lot of requests for something holiday, glittery, and with a red lip. So this is the look that I came up with. Got a dramatic red lip, full brows, eyeliner, and glitter. So this is really good for a holiday party, Christmas, photos, anything where you just want a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of glam. So if you want to see how I got the look, just continue watching. To start this look, and I highly recommend using a primer when you're going to be doing a look like this, and just because you're going to want to make sure that your makeup lasts throughout the entire evening or day, whatever you're going to be wearing it to. So I'm going to be starting with this e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer. This is just from Target. It's $3, really cheap, does a really good job at smoothing out your skin and just creating a nice even canvas for your makeup to adhere to. Today for foundation, I'm going to be using Rimmel Stay Matte, and this is a mousse foundation. So really heavy coverage, it's really thick, which I actually kind of think is a little bit of a downside to it. If you have dry skin at all, this is not going to be a good option for you, but I have combination oily skin, so it works all right. But I do actually mix in a little bit of an illuminator, and I'm using Smashbox Artificial Light just to keep it from looking really flat and dull. So I have two different colors that I'm using, and the first one is called Ivory, and that one is just a little bit lighter, and I'm going to be applying that in the places where I would like my highlighter to go afterwards. Dab a little bit on there, and then start to put this in the areas I would typically highlight. And then I'm going to take a slightly darker color in that same foundation. This is True Beige, which is more of my actual skin color, and go ahead and start layering that around the perimeter of my face and in areas that I would contour. And then I'm going to take this buffing brush from Real Techniques and wet it with a little bit of NYX Stay Matte Setting Spray. And I'm going to use this to buff the foundation and blend everything together. If you're new to contouring and highlighting, this is a really kind of safe way to try it out, because you do end up blending most of the foundation together, and it really just leaves that subtle highlight where we put the lighter foundation, and then almost a natural kind of contour there. To emphasize the highlight, I'm going to use MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose. This is a liquid highlighter. Just going to put this, again, in the same areas where the light foundation went to just really draw attention to those parts of your face. And I just use a smaller detail brush to blend this. I'm going to go ahead and set that with a pressed powder from Morphe, and this is a almost white color, and then this is a little bit peach, so I'm going to mix those two together and just dab that underneath my eyes to set that concealer. So I'm going to use a cream concealer. This is from NYX, it's just their concealer pot, and this is in Tan Bronze. So this is matte, and it's just a darker color that I'm going to line onto my face and then blend out with my buffing brush. Normally when I buff out my contour, I do it pretty dramatically, you know, just really big swirls until it's very subtle. But since this is an evening look and we want it to be a little bit more dramatic, I'm going to kind of concentrate that buffing a little bit more than I normally do. You can see nice and blended, but you still have a pretty distinct line between light and dark. Now, to make that contour pop, I'm going to go back into the Morphe pressed powders, and I'm going to be picking up these two darker shades. And I'm using, this is a crown brush. It's fluffy, but it's almost kind of flattened on the side, so you can really use it to make a nice straight line and then turn it the other way to blend. There we go. I'm gonna pop off camera for a second and put my eyebrows on. I've got a tutorial and a bunch of other videos on how I do that, so I'm just gonna skip that part for now and then we'll go into applying the eye makeup. So I'll see you guys. Eyebrows are on, and before I actually move on to the eye makeup application, I'm gonna do the rest of my cheeks. So I'm going to start with a cream blush. This is from NYX, it's Tea Rose. And I like layering the cream blush underneath powder. I just think it gives it more, first off, staying power. So if you accidentally like smudge your powder blush, you've got this nice layer sort of sunk in underneath. And also I just think it looks really natural, like just a glowing flush. And I'm going to use a matte blush from City Color called Fresh Melon. This is really nice peachy pink. If anybody tells you that you can't do a heavy contour, heavy eyebrow, heavy eyeliner, heavy cheek color all together, tell them to go fuck themselves, because you can do what you want. I've decided to do a gold glitter for this look, so I'm going to be using a lot of warm tones, yellows, orange, brown, to start to bring the look all together. Color. This sort of goldenrod and then the yellow. I'm going to mix that together for a transition color. So I'm just going to use a fluffy blending brush from Real Techniques and put that right in my crease and up towards the eyebrow. Taking a pointed brush, little pencil brush, I'm going to pick up this brown in the corner, so it's got a little bit of yellow undertone to it as well, and then a little bit of this, almost a little bit more reddish brown, and then press that right there, and then make a little line. And then once you've got that color where you want it, you can blend it out. I'm going to use that same fluffy brush that I was using before. Just feel free to pull that color out towards the tail end of your eyebrow. Now, with a little detail brush, I'm going to take some of that even darker brown and a teeny bit of black. And same thing, just put a little dot and make a line out of that, but we're going to keep this on kind of the outer half. And to blend this, I'm going to use the pencil brush. So you should be looking at something a little bit like that. This is a color pot from Maybelline. It's the Tattoo Metal. It's a cream eyeshadow. This is gold. I'm going to take some of this on my finger and this. Okay, so now the sun's setting, so we have a weird light, but whatever. I think I fixed it. So back to the project. Another little tiny detail brush. I'm going to pick up the brown, a little bit more black, and this is going to be for the outer corner of the eye. I'm going to sort of make a line up where I think my eyeliner is going to go, and then connect that to the dark line. And back in with the pencil brush, blend. And the fluffy brush. But this is another product that I've been using for holiday sort of glittery things. It's e.l.f. Glitter Primer. So let's just throw a little bit of that on top of the color tattoo. Well, so I'm going to be using Ben Nye Final Seal. This is a setting spray and it's waterproof. So I'm going to get my brush wet with that first, dab it into the glitter, and then press it onto the primer. And take a champagne colored shimmer and put that in the inner corner. Next up, eyeliner. I'm going to use a liquid liner from Stila. This is a pen. And it can be a little bit weird drawing over the glitter, so just take your time. And then you can clean up that line with a little makeup remover wipe. Now that the winged liner is done, I'm going to take a pencil liner and line my waterline. Come back to the palette. I'm going to take that dark brown, mix it with a little bit of the medium brown, and smudge that on my lower lash line. My next step is to blend and set. I'm going to do 2 coats of mascara, one to separate and lengthen, and another for volume and curl. I'm going to use actually that same eyeshadow, the champagne color that I put on the inner corner. I'm going to use this as a highlighter. It's really shimmery. And for lips, I'm going to use NYX Extreme Lip Cream. This is a very dark red. And then you just want to make sure that you set your makeup. And I'm going to use the Stay Matte setting spray that I used earlier. And here we have the finished look. Hope you guys all have a nice holiday, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.